Your eyes are not failing you. That was indeed one of the most ridiculous 1 minute and 6 seconds of Battlefield I've ever played in my life. Some pretty nice shots, a silly escape from a firefight, and finishing it off with a triple one bullet from the YLLiBzify. Anyway guys, what is up? It is Ryzun here and welcome back to the channel. So for anyone who doesn't already know, the new Battlefield 1 weapons trailer came out yesterday. You can click the video in the top left corner and that'll take you straight to it. I've also left a link down in the description for any of you mobile users out there. I can't show the full video on my channel as it impacts YouTube's copyright system, so it's just going to be screenshots and short clips from here on in. So that is going to be the topic of today's video, folks. The thing a lot of players have been looking forward to finding more about. Battlefield 1's weaponry. In the trailer, we see a lot of different weapons being utilised, such as the low weight variation of the world famous Lewis gun. We see a short glimpse of some kind of suppressor being used, more on that later in the video. To start things off, we see the infamous club melee weapon that was used in World War I. The club has nails protruding out of all sides, so once a combatant was hit with the weapon, it would basically leave a nasty wound as well as a blunt trauma from the impact of the club. Very medieval and very fun looking as well. Here we see a British soldier charging towards an enemy with the club in hand. This shot looks badass to say the least. Next up we see the first bit of footage from one of the LMGs in Battlefield 1. This is the MG15, and if you look closely at the damage report at the bottom of the screen, when the player gets a kill with this weapon, it reads MG15 N.A. suppressor. After doing a little bit of research, I couldn't really find anything under the name or config, but if you also see in the footage when the player fires the weapon, it still has a very clear muzzle flash. So whether the suppressor is an early design of sound suppressor, I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait until the beta drops to see if we can access some of these weapons and their attachments to find out more about the effects. The MG15 also has one of those really old analog weapon sights on it as well. This looks pretty awesome. It looks to be a standard ×1 zoom sight for close to medium battles with the MG15. I also took a trip down to the comments section of this weapons trailer and saw a bunch of people pointing out a horse in the background of one of these melee scenes. After looking at it closer, it definitely looks like a horse with the rider wielding a sword. If this is open to us in the live game, then giddy up battle horsey, it's time to earn your stripes. Moving on into the trailer, we see a player wielding the low weight model of the Lewis gun, opening fire at what looks to be an early model Rolls Royce with a gunner in the back of it. The low weight Lewis gun doesn't show any specifics in the trailer though, other than the chassis looking to be a bit smaller than the initial version, but it seems to maintain the drum magazine on top of the weapon, and I would assume the caliber of round is the same as well. So next in the video, we see someone using the infamous mortar. I would think that this would be on the support class as it is in previous Battlefield games and will be very useful if properly used. This trailer shot shows a fairly small mortar tube, so I can only assume the shell won't be going anywhere far. As we see in the footage, it fires at around 20 to 30 meters from the gunner's position and takes out 3 or 4 enemy soldiers with a pretty spectacular explosion. I'm really looking forward to giving this a try. So, what you're about to see here is what looks to be a semi-automatic shotgun called the Automatic 5 Light Infantry. Otherwise known as the Browning Auto 5, this weapon was in service from 1905 to 1975 and was used throughout all major conflicts in its 70-year life cycle. In the game here, we see it being used by a British soldier, hence the Union Jack on the back of the gun. It has a 5-round magazine and a strong one-shot capability in close range. So just shortly after the Auto 5 is shown, we get to see a pretty awesome shot from something that I was really hoping would be featured in Battlefield 1. A few months ago, I was researching some World War I weaponry that I would like to see in the game. As I was rummaging through the internet, I found a weapon called the Mauser 1918 T-Gewehr. This was the world's first anti-material rifle, more commonly known as anti-tank rifles. This rifle was of German design and fired a massive 13.2mm anti-tank round, effective up to 500 meters. Just for comparison purposes, the round on the left of this image was a standard British .303 round, and on the right is a German 13.2mm TUF. As you can see, the difference is almost titanic. The Mauser T-Gewehr was usually operated by a 2-man crew, one man acting as the gunner, and the other bearing the ammunition. So I could see this weapon being something similar to one of the battle pickups as we see in Battlefield 4 with the AMR2 and the M82A1. And there we have it guys, that pretty much concludes the rest of the trailer. Let me know what you guys think of the footage we've been shown so far down in the comments below. I'm really interested to hear what other players think as well as myself. So that's going to end off this video folks. Be sure to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed, a thumbs down if you didn't. If you're interested in some more of my content, you can check out my channel and subscribe to be notified on new uploads. Thanks for watching today guys, I've been Ryzun, and I'll see you all in the next video.